Another week, another candle. This is the weekly market forecast, and look at this beautiful weekly candle on the Bitcoin dominance chart. We're going to talk about Bitcoins, we're going to talk about XRP, we're going to talk about the market as a whole coming up after the intro. What's up, guys? This is JC, and welcome to the Wealth Engineering channel. The more you pay attention to, the more aware you become. And in this channel, we pay attention to stocks, crypto, real estate, and business to find the best place to grow your portfolio. If this is something that interests you, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe, and click the bell. The first Sunday of every month, we look at the markets and we do a monthly forecast. And every Sunday after that, we'll follow up on this prediction to see if we're on or off target. We had a lot of actions in the crypto market this week. Last week, I made a prediction and it happened way faster than I expected. We were talking about would we see $30,000 Bitcoin this year or next year? And it seems that we might even see it at the end of this year. We definitely had a rally very close to it and we hit $28,000. So we're going to talk about this beautiful candle that is forming right now. It is forming exactly as we predicted. We're going to talk about all that. But before I start, I want to mention that it is imperative that we learn how to manage our money, because once we learn how to manage our money, we can take controls of our true wealth, which is our time and our freedom. This is exactly why I founded Wealth Engineering. At school, they teach you a lot of things, but they don't teach you anything about money, and money is controlling our life all around. The Technical Investor course is designed to teach you exactly what you should have learned in school. We teach you about how to make, keep, and multiply your money, how to build a portfolio for generational growth and retirement early. We talk about all the markets. If you are a beginner investor, I strongly encourage you to look at the curriculum and check out to see if that's something for you. We talk about the forces that can affect your wealth, the different markets, how to trade, invest. We talk about personal finance, and we even have a bonus section to help you understand the market and how to apply all this information into the practical sense to grow your portfolio. There is currently a 73% off on this course right now, and this will expire December 31st. This is your end of the year gift. This is the best deal I can offer right now. After that, the prices were gonna go high. So with that said, you came here for the truth. Let's just dive deep into it. So what I really want to talk about is the crypto. So I'm going to go through this very fast. In terms of the stock market, we haven't seen anything, but when we draw this line right here, and we're resting still above this resistance. As long as we're above this line, we can expect to see some higher price on the stock market. When it comes to crude oil, last week we had some actions on crude oil, and basically if this candle right here, it's actually a bullish sign for crude oil as well. Right now, if we're looking at the price, especially the line right here, EMA 21, exponential moving average, 21 days. So we're seeing that there is a price decision that is about to happen. So if we draw this line right here, and assuming that this pattern continues, we can expect that this line will extend all the way here. And this is forming a triangle. Usually, I've discussed about this on the channel. Usually when we see a triangle, this is a price and decision. It means that at some point, we're going to see a price decision happening, either on the upside, breaking this major resistance, or on the downside, breaking this triangle. And maybe it's going to retest the lowercase area for crude oil. So we're going to discuss more about that next week as we discuss about the monthly predictions. But this is something interesting to keep in mind, and we'll pay attention to that. Gold is heading toward this major point right here. We discussed about this downward trend, and if we break this pattern, then we're going to see exciting price on the gold market. So we're going to keep an eye on that next week as well. Just wanted to mention that very quickly. Now, before I start with cryptocurrencies, I want to talk very quickly about why do I do this type of videos. First of all, the weekly market forecast is one of my favorite type of contents I want to create. I know the YouTube doesn't really favor this type of content. It's not really going to promote it to as many people as possible. Like, it's not going to be the content that's going to make me like 100 or 1 million subscriber channel, But personally, this is the type of content I love to make. And as long as I stay true to myself, to my passion, to what I love to do, I'm happy for that. And if I can make maybe 1,000 subscriber one day, or even 100,000 subscriber, which will be my dream, that's okay. That's all I want. I don't want any more than that. But this is the type of content I love to make. And the question is, why do I make this type of content? I want to make this type of content because I want to show you that, hey, when you use technical analysis, you can use that as a way to predict what's going to happen. And when you can predict what's going to happen, you can also plan for what's going to happen. And you have a clear mind when the market is going on a frenzy. Well, you could have predicted that, and you can have a plan to take profit, to know exactly how to allocate your fund so it doesn't catch you by surprise. And you have a clearer mind to deal with the situation. And this week is a perfect example of what we've been discussing for the last 2 months. And this chart as a whole is one of my favorite predictions for the year. Now, I gotta say that I'm early this year. I've made some prediction that some of my cryptos in my portfolio would have 10x, and that happened over and over again. Same thing for my stocks picks. I picked all the stocks that I picked for my 2020 portfolio. They have all done very well on 2020. So, and despite seeing all that, this chart that you're seeing right here is one of my favorite prediction. I knew exactly that we're heading towards a cup and handle channel. We have discussed that on this very channel here. I drew this line right here, and you can see how we respected this line, especially in a daily chart. Look at how we rely the body of this candle right here, rested for 3 days on this line right here. This is perfectly what's happening here. If you had followed my instructions, you would have timed your buys right at this point right here. And if you had ride this altcoin all the way here, right now, you've been looking at some beautiful profits. So I made a call. You can look at the previous videos on this channel. You'll see exactly what I mean. We even talk about the ash ribbon. The ash ribbon was triggering a buy, and whenever this happens, we see a major pump. We also talk about exactly the level that we should be looking at on this chart whenever we have a cup and handle pattern. We can take this line right here, and as long as we break this pattern, you can see exactly where we break it and predicted it. And now that the wick is closed, we can see exactly where the body of the candle closed right here, just below the line that we said that it was going to happen around 750, 748. Throughout the week, it even passed this line right here. It even reached 71 on the dominance chart. That means the entire market cap for Bitcoin is heading towards 71. It closed around 70, let's say 70.20. That's where it closed, and now it's looking red, and we're going to discuss about that. But why I'm making this type of content is when moves like this happens and the market is growing very, very fast, you know exactly what to expect. You know exactly how to take profit, and you know exactly how to manage your trades. With that said, let's discuss about what's been happening with Bitcoin. This week was very exciting for cryptocurrency as a whole. Last week, we were talking about how we were going to rally towards 25,000, have a rejection, and then we're going to try to challenge past 25,000, even reach 30,000. And we were questioning, are we going to see $30,000 Bitcoin in 2020 or in 2021? Well, based on the rally that we just had, that we closed around 28,000, I think the chances of seeing $30,000 Bitcoin are still on the table. But there is some interesting pattern happening on the chart right now. And to show you this, I'm going to jump on my actual chart for Bitcoin. This one is live, and it's showing some patterns. So first on a daily, we saw this candle right here. This is not a doji candle, but it is a bearish candle. We see a lot of selling pressure. The market needs to be correcting itself. And just like we saw here, there was a major pump. The market would correct itself for a couple days and then another pump. We might see the same pattern going over again as we're heading towards 30,000. And this might bring us 30,000 past December 31st, meaning 2021. We can also expect to see some correction at some point. A 5, 10%, even 20% correction at this point would be very great for Bitcoin. The market needs that. But I also want you to encourage you to study the chart, because the chart always has the answers to your questions. And when you look at the charts from 2017, as the market was booming like this, the chances to have a 10% correction on a market like this is very low. You're more likely to see to keep your trades, or to basically watch it on a very daily basis, even hourly basis, if you want to sell your profits. But make sure you're cautious about that, because you might miss the ride as it starts pumping again. With that said, I actually sold some of my profit today, just before I recorded this video, because when I saw this candle right here, I know we were heading towards some consolidation, maybe a market consolidation, but I'm watching it like a hawk, waiting to get back in again on the market. And there is some interesting pattern showing. When we look at this line right here, the RSI on a weekly, we're still very overextended. We're past like the all-time high on the RSI chart. The MACD, it's still, the gap is still big on the weekly candle. The X is still big, so we might very well see another pump. And to give us a clearer picture, this chart is not enough. We need to combine it with the Bitcoin dominance chart, and this chart gives us a better picture. You can see there is a correction happening here. The market is going sideways while the RSI is going down. This is beautiful. This is exactly what we want to see. If the RSI could actually reach the 60, even 50, while the price goes sideways, or even reach like 68% dominance, that's going to be very, very great for Bitcoin on the long term, because it's going to have enough energy to push back up and blast to $30,000 Bitcoin. So this is something we want to keep our eyes on. The other things that we want to keep an eye on is, let's put it on the weekly and see. Yes, so there is still some room to grow on the chart. So this pattern is not completed yet. This pattern, although that we, because then the way to know that is, I put the line right here because I thought that was the top of the channel, but this is the top of the channel. So you can see this is where the pattern completes itself. We already reached this, but we might get some other price action again throughout here. But last week, I made a call for altcoins. I said, hey, you should have invested in Bitcoin a long time ago, especially when we were making the call for Bitcoin. So now my suggestion is start investing on altcoin. Last week we made the call. This week I'm making the call again, because what's going to happen is, let's say we have a rally and then we push the price on the 70% chart, 71% chart, and we have a resistance and we've broken this resistance. Well, what's going to happen next is we're going to have a small correction on this chart right here. So let's say we have a rally and then the price go all over to 71% on our Bitcoin dominance chart. So if we have a rejection here, then we can expect to see price action go down on this level right here, 68%. And when you look at the RSI on a daily, this is exactly what's been going, that's starting to happen. We see that, hey, we also had another test right here, and then it rejected, and then we're starting to see some momentum on the downside. You can see it on the RSI. You can see that the MACD is almost about to cross. The ADX is still very bullish, but these are lagging indicators. So we really gotta pay attention to the price action as well, and see the fact that we see rejection here. We can expect to see a retest on the 68, and if we break this pattern, then we can see 67. This is exactly what I'm expecting to see. I'm expecting the next couple weeks that we're going to see some price consolidation, price action going sideways, maybe a little bit on the downside, and the altcoins are going to pump. All right. This is the cycle for Bitcoins. Usually Bitcoins pumps, the altcoins stay sideways. They don't move much. Although some of the altcoins was booming even more than Bitcoin. So that's something to keep in mind. Not all altcoins act the same way. Some altcoins actually follow Bitcoin's word for word, and some others, they wait for Bitcoins and then they start pumping after. So this is where the action is getting interesting. But the RSI, we can see it. We have a high, we have a lower high, and then if we start forming another lower high, then we clearly have a downtrend. If we can see 50 or 60 zone, that would be great. We got to keep in mind also that the market is still very greedy, and we're still above 90 on the greed level. So anything can happen. We might even break this. And if we break this and go higher than 71, then we're way above 30,000. But with that said, I want to make it clear that, hey, me personally, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm loading on altcoins. And to show you an example of exactly what I mean, I'm going to show you a chart that I'm looking at right now and where I'm starting to buy already. Just before I recorded this video, I made this trade. I want to look at something like this where the RSI is going low. We have a ETH, Ethereum / BTC pair. All right. While Bitcoin was going high, this chart was going low. Now that Bitcoin is starting to correct itself, then we're seeing a rise on this chart. So that's telling me that with my Bitcoin, buying altcoins, especially like Ethereum, is a great decision because I can multiply the amount of Bitcoins I have just by transitioning them to ETH and ride this wave all the way up. If you're my student, you know exactly what I'm saying when I'm looking at this pattern right here. You want to take advantage of that. So start looking at patterns like that, especially altcoins / BTC pairs, because they're going to start pumping as Bitcoin is going sideways and correct itself. But word of caution, this Bitcoin is not going to stay long like this. Bitcoin is going to pump all over again. So you want to make sure you time your trade. This is exactly why I make this type of content, so that you can have a plan, you can profit, and I'm sharing exactly what I'm doing with you guys so that you can take advantage as well, and then you can make some profit as well. And lastly, I want to talk about XRP. Last week, we were saying that, hey, if we break this support right here, that's going to be very bad for XRP. This week, we've seen some large volatility on the cryptocurrencies, especially XRP. We've seen some massive swing, and right now it's clear it's looking like a downtrend. If we can see 20 cents XRP or lower, I would be like singing because I would be so happy. Now, people are asking me, why am I so bullish on XRP when the news is bad, when people are selling it, when the SEC is talking about lawsuits? And honestly, to me, my answer to this question is simple. I do not look at the news. I do not look at the markets, the masses, fear of missing out, or fear, uncertainty, and doubt. I do not look at the market's FUD. It's called fear, uncertainty, and doubt. I do not look at that. What I pay attention to as an investor is value. So when we talk about the cryptocurrency as a whole, XRP is one of the most valuable cryptocurrencies that you can take. Their positioning in the real world is something that a lot of cryptocurrency wish they have. When we look at the value, when you look at the assets for Ripple, the company that is managing it, their plans for the future, me as an investor, I'm very comfortable investing a large part of my portfolio into XRP because I do not look at the news. When it comes to the news, there was a lot of good news and bad news about XRP and Ripple as a whole throughout the last 2 years. And I've made profit from XRPs throughout this time, actually the last 2 years throughout all this time. When it comes to the SEC, the discussion about securities versus currencies or utilities, this has been going on for years, all right? Years, and Ripple has been fine already about all that. So even if worst case scenario, the SEC fine Ripple as a whole, their positioning in the market, especially the way they're helping banks right now, the entire cryptocurrency is not going down, all right? So you might see another massive swing up, just like you see it going down like this. And this is very likely. And if you're invested in XRP earlier, especially when we're talking about March, buying it around like 10 cents, you could make like up to 80% on your return on your investment. So even right now in some of my portfolio, I'm still up despite this big downtrend right here. It would have to go lower than 10 cents for me to start losing money. So I'm not really worried about all that. I use this opportunity to collect some of my profit, buy it back. The lower it goes, the more I buy. And I love XRP, and I love what they are actually doing in the crypto market, because hey, if they're not helping the banks are going extinct, and right now the banks are controlling the world. All right, so there is no way for them to actually go totally extinct. If XRP can help them solve their problem, there is also Stellar that's doing the exact same thing as well. So if Stellar and XRP can help the banks survive this transition to the fourth revolution right here, then more power to the investor, more power to the people who can take advantage of it. And this is why I am not worried about what's going on. I'm not worried about the news. I have done my research to comfortably allocate some of my portfolio into XRP, and I buy the dip, and the deeper it goes, the more I buy. With that said, this is my take on XRP and what's going on right now. I would love to wait and see it touch the green line on the daily chart. And when we look at the weekly chart, it's also diving down. It's still on the barely on the 50 zone area. So we're going to wait and see what happens with XRP. But this is a very bearish candle. And that we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see where it decides to settle. But it has officially lost all its gain from the last couple of days. And if you're timing your trade right, you could have collected profit a lot earlier. We discussed about it last week. We were saying to pay attention to that support. So if this is something that you paid attention to, you would have been aware about that. So with that said, so this is the last weekly market forecast for the year 2020. It has been very great and awesome to make these videos, and I'm looking forward to make a lot more of these videos in 2021. Make sure you subscribe for more. Click the like button to help with those YouTube's algorithm. And I'm excited to with the market. I'm excited to ride this market with you guys. And this is exactly why I make this type of videos, so that we can be aware as the market as a whole. We can plan for it. We can strategize so that when our prediction happens, we know exactly how to deal with it. With that said, talk to you on the next video.